Hello everybody, it's Waifu Belector yet again, and for today's video we've got some new comments from Xbox's kingpin himself, Phil Spencer, in regard to the Activision acquisition and Call of Duty. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you some of what he said and sort of use that as a springboard to go wherever my mind takes me. Sound good? Cool. Real quick, before that though, feel free to give a like to the video if you end up enjoying, and consider subscribing if it's not too much trouble. Anyway, let's talk about what Phil had to say. So, as I said, Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, was on the official Xbox podcast, obviously to talk about the recently closed Activision Blizzard acquisition. And can I just say, thank God that's finally over. But, of course, since Phil is gonna talk about that, he's gonna talk about the biggest game that they acquired, Call of Duty. And if you lump consumers into one giant entity, that's the game we're most curious about going forward. Now, leading up to this, Xbox and Phil Spencer have made all sorts of commitments and promises in regard to the future of Call of Duty, including their claim to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo consoles and keep Call of Duty on other platforms for the next 10 years at least. And in this interview, Phil sort of reinforces the sentiment behind those claims with an all-new one, while talking about exclusivity and the possibility of exclusive deals and content, or content arriving early to Xbox as opposed to PlayStation for Call of Duty. Phil said that the goal is 100% parity across platforms, and that he doesn't want people who play Call of Duty on other platforms to feel like they're missing out. He wants to make sure you feel fully part of the community. And so what 100% parity means is that all of the content released for Call of Duty would release at the same time and be the same across all platforms. Now, Phil does acknowledge that some platforms simply can't do what others can, you know, the Series S and whatever Nintendo's new thing is, and so because of that, there may have to be some concessions made, but that's not to incentivize you or pressure you into buying an Xbox. The goal is still for full content parity as much as realistically possible. So yeah, that's what he said in more or less words. So then the question becomes, how much do we believe him? Personally, I do believe that Call of Duty will stay everywhere and on everything, likely forever or for as long as anyone cares. Some franchises are just in an entirely different league. They play by a different set of rules. Minecraft never left PlayStation either, because Minecraft is also one of those games that left the fucking stratosphere. Call of Duty is so popular and so played by basically every fucking person who plays games that what you'd gain by making it console exclusive to Xbox would likely be less than what you'd give up by removing the entire PlayStation player base. True, some players would swap over and get an Xbox, but a lot of players wouldn't. A lot of players can't. Some people just have their $70 a year to buy Call of Duty, not $300 for a new console. So yeah, I have full belief that Call of Duty isn't leaving PlayStation. However, I don't really buy into the idea that down the line there won't be some exclusive benefits to playing on Xbox as opposed to PlayStation. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they'll give away game-breaking weapon blueprints exclusively on Xbox or anything, but a lot of those free PSN cosmetic bundles and whatnot are gonna start moving over to Xbox. You know, stuff like that. You might start getting betas that are playable a few days earlier on the Series X, that kind of thing. In my mind, that's almost a certainty that that happens, because those things will be small enough that they aren't really complaint worthy or quite promise breaking, although something that I could see happening that would have people's feathers a bit ruffled is some sort of premium Xbox exclusive or Game Pass edition or some shit that would give even earlier access than the standard deluxe edition early access. That seems like something weird that would happen, honestly. Like if you pay $10 more for a deluxe edition, you get 3-day early access, but if you pay $5 on top of that $10 for the Game Pass deluxe edition only available on PC PC and Xbox, then you get 5 days early access, you know, something like that. I could see that happening, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, when it comes to the promise of Call of Duty on Nintendo hardware, I believe that too. The most obvious reason being because it's a huge market and that's just more money, but obviously the performance of any Call of Duty on a Nintendo console is going to be worse than the experience on Xbox or PlayStation. I know that, you know that, Phil Spencer knows that. And the idea of something like the upcoming Modern Warfare 3 running on a Nintendo Switch sounds like it's a formula for a Mortal Kombat 1 style disaster. However, these people at Xbox, Activision, Microsoft, all that, they plan things so far ahead, they see things so much earlier than we do, and even we as the consumers have been hearing rumors about the next Nintendo console. Again, it obviously won't be as powerful as what Xbox and PlayStation do, but we do know that it'll be more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. My guess is that Xbox and Phil Spencer looked at that new Nintendo console, they looked it up and down, in and out, and figured, it's not so bad. We can make it work, and perhaps they can, or perhaps this is a foolish undertaking. My point is, I do believe Call of Duty will be on Nintendo, but I don't know for how long or even if it'll be worth having. Franchises like Mortal Kombat keep porting their game to Nintendo consoles despite the egregious downgrade in quality, and if that's any indication, it could mean that launching a shitty half-baked potato version of your game is worth it in comparison to those sweet Nintendo bugs. But whatever. Only the future will tell exactly how this all shakes out. It's all fairly interesting, but what do you think? Do you think Xbox will honor these commitments? You got any thoughts on the future of Call of Duty? Go ahead and slap them down in the comments. And remember to like the video if you did in fact like the video, and I'd appreciate it even more if you chose to subscribe. Either way though, thanks for watching, you gave me a chance, I can't be mad at that. But alright, until next time, I am Waifu Belector, I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I'm gonna go play Call of Duty on a PlayStation. Goodbye.